Welcome, everyone. My name is Julie Merritt, and I serve on the Missoula City Council. I represent Ward 6, which is on the south side of town, the Franklin to the Fort and the River Road neighborhoods mainly. And I just want to start off by thanking the partners who are making this process possible. And that includes the University of Montana, the City of Missoula, and of course our friends at the Missoula Library. I want to thank Holly for inviting me to be part of this kickoff event. But most importantly, I want to thank all of you for being here and being interested in helping us design an awesome space for people to learn about and experience STEM. So of the 4 STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, as most of you know, that's what that stands for. Science is the one that I'm most partial to. I studied biology in college, including DNA and genetics. So I'm particularly excited about the DNA primer, and I hope that you guys are too. One thing I want you to consider as you work on this space is I'd like to have you just let your minds wander and think about aspects of STEM that may not be the first thing that comes to your mind. For example, when I think about DNA and genetics, I think about 2 people that you may not have heard about much, and that's Rosalind Franklin and Barbara McClintock. Ms. Franklin was a researcher who was responsible for taking X-ray pictures of DNA. She never got much credit for her work when she was alive, but now we know how important her work was because it was her picture of DNA that led Watson and Crick to their discovery of the structure of DNA. And the other person I mentioned, Barbara McClintock, she's another one of my heroes. She studied genetics even before Franklin and Watson and Crick were talking about the structure of DNA. Mrs. McClintock discovered something called jumping genes. And as it turns out, that was something that was very important to the study of genetics. It took a very long time, but she did eventually get acknowledged for her work, and to this day, she is the only woman who has an unshared Nobel Peace Prize in the study of medicine or physiology. So I just wanted to share those ideas with you in the hope that we can all think deeply about what gets incorporated into this space, and the ultimate design reflects our community values of today. And now I would like to ask to join me up here. Provost Harbour would like to say a few words as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and that was a wonderful introduction. My name is John Harbour. I'm with the University of Montana. I've only been here about a year, but this is an amazing community, and this event this evening is part of the sorts of things that make Missoula such a special place. This partnership between the city, between the community, and between the university really makes this a place that is different from many others. You have a role here this evening in helping to design the spaces that you live in. The university has a strong emphasis on working with local places. You may have heard our president talk often about the importance of partnering with place. It's that collaboration between the university and the community within which it's located that makes us powerful and that really benefits both the university and the community. Now, the activity that will be involved in this evening is just the type of activity that I am actually known for amongst those who work with me, because it's really important that we collect all of the voices, many voices, as we design spaces, as we design ideas. And we have some great partners here to facilitate that process, and I'd like to both thank and introduce The facilitators for this evening, we have Blake, Holly, Angela, and Rachel to guide us through co-creating the anchoring elements of this new Missoula Public Library. Thank you.
Thank you. John, I think the screen, we're having a technical difficulty. Maybe you can all say, wake up. Wake up. Okay, so tonight, as John and Julie shared, we're going to be doing a community co-creation lab. And John, we can go to the next slide. My name is Holly Truitt. And many of you know me as the mother of a little boy named Finn Mandelko. Where is Finn? Ah, there's Finn. Oh, he's feeling very shy about this. I also have the delight of being the director of this project. Next slide. And this project, in many ways, is a story. Would it be okay if I told you a story? Kids, does that sound good? Oh, I recognize that voice. I recognize that voice. So this is the story of a community named Missoula, Montana. Do you guys live in Missoula? Yeah. This is a story of a community that had a dream. It had a dream that it wanted to build something very, very special. Next slide. It wanted to build a library unlike any other library in the United States. A library that had multiple museums under one roof, that had a great place to get coffee and grilled cheese sandwiches, that had access television, and they had this other dream, but they didn't know how they were going to pay for it. This other dream was that they wanted to have this cool health zone, an area where kids could learn about health sciences, health research, and get super excited about what they wanted to be when they grew up. Next slide. And so they started to dream big, and they thought, well, we want to have a climber in it, and we wanted to explore genetics. And next slide. And we want to have a research lab, because kids would love that, to get to work next to Dr. Mike Kavanaugh and Rachel Severson and other researchers at the university hand in hand. And they wanted to make sure there were also cozy places to sit. Next slide. But when they thought about it, when Missoula thought about this dream, what it thought of most of all was that it wanted to create it together, that they wanted kids to think about what this might look like. Next slide. And so they took this dream, and they packaged it all up, and they brought it to a place called Washington, D.C. Do you guys know where Washington, D.C. is? Yes. It's where the White House, it's where the White House is, but there's really no money in the White House. So they brought it to a different place. They brought it to the National Institutes of Health. And they said, would you fund this dream for us? Would you let us co-create a 2-story genetic climber for our kids and to have a research lab where kids and scientists could work together? And, next slide, the National Institutes of Health were like, this is brilliant. We would love to fund this. And so they sent a big check to Missoula, and it actually was even bigger than this check, to be able to underwrite all of this work, because they believed so much in Missoula's dream. So, next slide. Tonight is that night that we're starting our co-creation to ensure that this work that we do is of, for, and by the community, and even more so, I'm going to say it a little bit different, of, for, and by the kids. Right? So cool. Okay. Next slide. We have a few goals for us tonight, okay? We want you to have fun. Do you think you can do this? We want to have fun. We want you to be creative. We want you to remember that intuition is as important as knowledge. And by that I mean some of you may not know that much about genetics or research, but you have incredible intuition. So trust your gut. Think about what it is that you want these things to be like. And I also want you to remember that this is a dream, right? And in dreams, we don't need to limit. We can think big, right? And most importantly, because this is the one that sort of gets me a little bit teary, is you guys are making history. You're going to design what this climber looks like. You're going to play on it for your whole childhood. You're going to work in this research lab, and then do you know what? Your kids are going to do the same thing. Like, pretty magical, right? So I want you to hold that. You are creating a legacy tonight. This is really important work. Okay, next slide. So I now have the joy of passing the mic to our amazing design team who's going to be facilitating 3 labs this evening. They're going to tell you about their challenge, some background on it, and then we're going to turn you loose.
Hello. So I'm so excited to see so many kids here tonight. And so my name is Rachel Severson, and I'm a professor at the University of Montana in the Department of Psychology. And I am working with these amazing people to bring to you a community lab. And the community lab is a place where all of you will participate in research, learn about research, and as you grow up and become high school students, maybe join our research mentorship program. So let me tell you a little bit about each of these pieces. So next slide, please. So in the community lab, we will be doing real research. What does that mean? Next slide. So in the community lab, there's going to be research from across the university, researchers from all different areas. So in psychology, in social work, in public health, in neuroscience, and so many more areas that we do our science. And we are going to be doing our science right in the plain view. Not behind closed doors, but you guys get to see and participate in research. And by doing that, contribute to the process of discovery. Sounds pretty cool. Next slide. But whether or not you want to participate in research, regardless, you get to learn about the research questions that we have, how researchers approach these questions, and importantly, what we learn from the research that we do right here in Missoula, right here in the community lab. Next slide. And finally, the participation and the learning will be complemented by a high school research mentorship program where we will link up high school students with researchers to engage in the process of research, and they in turn will become near-peer mentors where they will mentor other kids in the community about science and doing research. So we want to hear from you all tonight, from all ages, about why you'd like to participate, what you want to learn, and what's important for you to get out of a mentorship relationship. We want this community lab, as Holly said, to be of, for, and by the community. And it's that co-creation process is what's the heart of what makes this so incredibly special. So we're excited to hear from you, and I will now, what's that? Oh yeah, thank you. Good point. Okay, so if you want to co-create this community lab, we are going to be over here at these 3 tables. Okay, and we have questions for you, and you can ask us questions too. More importantly, okay. So I'll turn this over now to Blake.
Hi everybody, my name is Blake Regal. And I am one of the designers, one of the many designers that is going to be working with you guys tonight. We're going to kick it off, and then we'll do it a whole bunch more. But we're going to be the ones designing the 2-story DNA climber and sculpture that's going to go into the library. So next slide, real quick. So I want you guys to think tonight and put your imagination hats on, and I want you guys to imagine and help us figure out ideas for what you might do in that climber. I want you to imagine, what if the climber could do this, or it could tell me about that, or it could do these things. tonight's about getting a whole bunch of ideas so that when we design this climber, we can draw from the ideas that you guys come up with. Next slide, please. So as we're designing tonight, I want you can draw, you can build, you can wonder, you can notice, you can do it. All of those designs, regardless of whether you're this big or you're this big, we want you guys to come help us design and come up with ideas and be as visual as you can be. And so we're going to be designing on those 4 tables back there, using all sorts of materials to create something. We only ask that when you design it, you tell us a little bit about what your idea is. Can you do that? Ah, cool. So you guys can wander through the stations, and when you come back there, you can help me design. Help us, Scotty and I, help design the next DNA climber.
You guys are being so patient. We're almost done. I'm Angela, and I am excited to start the co-creation process with you, which means we're going to get busy being creative and creating the space that we're going to be exploring and enjoying in the near future. So, are you guys ready? Yes. Can we start doing something fun? Yes. Okay. So, imagine in your mind you're walking into the new library with your adult, or if you're an adult, maybe you're walking in with your kids, and you say, hey, person I'm with, I'm going to go to the place where the climber and the research lab is, but it doesn't have a name, right? So what are you going to tell your adult? I'm going to go to so that's what we're going to do right now. We are going to decide as a group what we want to call this cool new space. That's one of a kind. So let's practice by spending 1 minute, turn to your partner. I would love for you to turn to your partner, your neighbor, and talk about just some ideas, some quick, crazy, fun ideas for what we want to call it, and then we're going to come back together in just 1 quick minute and write some of them down. Ready, set, go. Okay, are we ready to come back together? Okay. And after this, we'll have more opportunity to talk about different ideas. So who wants to throw out the first amazing idea? Yes, you. Abbreviations. Abbreviations. Great, love it. Yes. Love it. The Wriggler. That's awesome. Yes. The laboratory. Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. The dad? Dead. D-E-A-D? The den. Not the dead. Yes. The ribosome. That's the ribosome. Let's take 2 more and then we can have an opportunity to do it on our own at a smaller workshop. Yes. The DNA tornado. Very nice. Yes. The kids space. That's great. Casey, did you get that? The kids space? Awesome. Okay, we can take 1 more. Labozula. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't stop. There's 1 kid back there. Okay. Yes, all the way in the back. Speak loudly.
The mountain goat.
It's a mountain goat. That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So if you have more really creative ideas, we are going to be gathering here at this corner, and you can feel free to come over and participate, and please do mingle around to all of the different challenges. So the moment has arrived. You have heard the offerings. You can do 3-dimensional graphic prototypes of DNA climbers. You can continue naming this amazing space. Or you can think about the research lab. What do you want to do in that space? Make your choice. Are you locked in? Can you not move? No. You can move to any station you want. Pretty good. Yes, honey?
Hello, co-creators. Look at you guys. This is amazing. I'm going to invite all of our facilitators to come on the stage. Come on up. Come on up. And you're welcome to come and sit with us if you like. We have Angela coming up. Hi, Angela. Wonderful. Oh, my goodness, so much co-creation. We noticed. You guys don't want to stop. You don't want to stop. This is just a brief intermission.
All right, everybody.
Here we go. That's it. Snap, snap.
Hands up!
Woo!
Hands up! I can see some hands. Oh.
Wonderful. We wanted to take oh, Finn, that's enough. Oh, my goodness. Okay, we wanted to take just a quick moment because we couldn't all get to every station and spend every minute there. We wanted to take a quick moment to share out from each of the stations some of the big ideas that had emerged. So I'm going to hand it to Blake so he can share some observations.
So first off, a huge thank you to everybody and all your great ideas. I was back there watching and everybody build and create all sorts of amazing things. I heard things from slides, DNA spiral slides, to platforms to go up, gravity boots, swings, rope climbers, climbing walls. There were all sorts of fantastic ideas. I want to say something to the adults in the room because you guys we do not want you to accidentally clean up the designs back there. So adults in the room, don't feel like you should clean up. We need to leave everything as is. And designers, you guys, if you would please leave your designs on the table. We're going to share them out with other people tomorrow. So if you haven't already shared with Scott or Scott and I are walking around taking notes. If you want to share some additional ideas, please do. And keep designing if you need to, but please don't clean up and please don't take them because we want. But there was some amazing ideas. So a round of applause for all the designers in the room. Thank you. We'll take these ideas and bring them back to the design.
Okay, so some feedback on the community lab co-creation. I think that some of the highlights are this idea of getting to know science start to finish. Yeah, I know. Isn't that amazing? And yes, getting to know, someone wanted to know, can we research space? Absolutely. What do you guys want to learn about? Come tell us more. And thinking about who gets to be involved, everyone. And finally, this idea of how special and lucky it is that we get to create kind of this third place to do science that's outside of school, outside of the classroom, and it's fun and interactive, and you just get to explore. So those are some of the highlights so far, and come tell us more of your ideas.
So we have a really amazing list of what we are thinking about naming this new space. So I'm going to hit on a few of them, but I have a big favor to ask everybody before we leave. Will you please go by this list, grab a little tiny sticker, and put the sticker next to the name that you love the most. If you can't read yet, that is absolutely fine, because we have some adults over here who are happy to read out all of the options to vote for, okay? So here, I am actually not able to really read that. We see the links. DNA ladder, DNA climber, the laboratorium. We heard that one. Let's think about some that we haven't seen. Sierra, you want to read them off for me?
Yeah, starting from down here.
Yes.
We got the Wriggler.
The Wriggler.
The Den.
The Den.
The DNA Tornado.
Ooh, DNA Tornado.
Labazula. Light Hall.
Light Hall.
Living DNA.
Living DNA.
The Grower.
Ooh, the Grower.
The Live.
The Live.
The Web.
The Web.
The Spindle.
The Spindle.
And Mental Sentinel.
Mental Sentinel. Yeah. If you have other ideas that aren't on that list, it's not too late. Run over there when we're done on your way to vote, and please do vote so that we can give this really, really neat project a name. So breaking news, tomorrow on one of our local radio shows, we are going to share the new name of the project. So we really, really want to vote and select the one that all of us want the most so that we can have that aired live tomorrow. Science Climber. Yes. Okay. I think that's it. Thank you, guys. You all.